Okay. I love standing up in front of people. Howard, as we were talking about my Myers-Briggs profile, Howard did me, so to speak, a number of years ago. And apparently I am off the scale introvert. Yes. And therefore, when I do stuff like this, it absolutely wipes me out. I do it professionally, but if anybody dares speak to me later on, then I'll have to put well, I'll have to retreat, I think. So we did a team meeting, as we do. When would this be? Sometime back end of last year. And the team meeting agenda is 25 years of UIC. And it's basically come up with some ideas to celebrate 25 years of UIC. So a little bit of brainstorming on Post-its, obviously. And one of my contributions was cake. Sometimes the boss gets what they want. And obviously mugs. We have a mug every year, but a mug with a 25-year logo on. And then someone said, oh, you've got to do something at the conference, Richard. Great. But here I am, and I will do it smiling. So, where's Andrew gone? I actually did mine yesterday evening, but I can't remember what the hell I did yesterday, so it doesn't really make that much difference, Andrew, as far as I'm concerned. So I've thrown together a random collection of stray thoughts, rather than anything particularly, inspirational or logical, I think. So we'll see when I click what comes up, and I'll try and explain it. So we'll start with survival is not compulsory. And who earlier on, it was you, Claire, talking about the size of your business and not big enough to be very resilient and not small enough to, not be okay.
Sorry. Yeah.
Not be. If you work on your own as a consultant, well, if you don't earn anything, it doesn't really matter. But when you're a kind of dozen-person organisation, then you're in the group that is actually the most at risk. And just being here after 25 years, I don't know if it's good luck or good judgment, but well, here we are, and it's very nice to be here. So survival is not compulsory. Hands up if you know who said this. And leave a room if you haven't got your hand up. It's a Dr Deming quote, obviously. One of Deming's most famous quotes, but it's not compulsory to stay in business. And frankly, it's far easier to go out of business than it is to stay in business. And Deming said survival is not compulsory. There's loads of ways to go out of business nowadays. Even if you're in organisations, you get taken over or get put into supervision, and if you don't get out of supervision, they'll do something to you. Loads of ways to get out of business. So by some miracle, we're still here after 25 years. So it all started, as I said earlier on, with me and John. I think I can't remember where we are. And on the 30th of April 1992, for reasons that I'm not going to go into because it's very boring, we decided we were going to set up a partnership together. And the first thing, because there are some exciting moments in business, is picking a name. So, so we had a flip chart stand at home, and we did a brainstorm of all the things we were really interested in. And then we took turns to cross them out, and ultimately there were two things left. One was Twin Peaks. And isn't it interesting that as we speak on the UIC's 25th anniversary, Twin Peaks is back on the telly in a new form. And those of you who remember Twin Peaks, there's this place called the White Lodge. And to get to the White Lodge, you have to pass through the Black Lodge. So from Twin Peaks, we got the idea of a place that is special and full of good stuff, where the birds sing a pretty song. And that's the White Lodge bit. And the other thing was Dr Deming's system of profound knowledge, so we became Profoundly White Lodge. And after a while we realised that the business would not continue to flourish with a slightly quirky name. Our existing clients weren't bothered because they understood what we did, but people would just discount us just based on the name of the business. So we had to get rid of that. And essentially, what used to happen is the fax machine in my office, which I still have a fax machine because I'm stuck in the past, every night it would whir and there'd be a long fax from John with about 100 different names for the renamed business. And basically I'd screw it on.
I brought them along.
Yeah.
No, I'm not joking, I've got the folder upstairs in my hotel room.
So, and one of them said Universal Improvement Company. And I quite like that, and my girlfriend at the time said, well, that's a good name. So I took that down the pub that night to see my friend Andrew Harvey, who was a marketing director. And I said to Quested, which is his middle name, I said, what do you think of this one? He said, it's a really good name, but it would be better with a "the" in front of it. And that's how we became the Universal Improvement Company. And also by fluke, in 1999, 4th of September 1999, I stepped off the plane in Australia at the request of your boss, Fiona, and well, I wrote down the figures actually. Got my glasses on. So just hands up, Aussie UICers in the room. Yeah, there's a few, there's 4 of us I think. So this ultimately led to a bit of work in Australia and Lisa's organisation. I've now done 79 trips to Australia. I've flown 1,659,000 miles. The moon is only 239,000 miles away. That means I've sat on aeroplanes for 158 days, and I've spent 1,350 days in Australia. And it shows. Flying isn't good for you. But one of the annoying things geographically is it's difficult for all UICers to get together because, you know, team meetings where we all get in a room is quite difficult. But we got, you know, it would be so nice to have some of our Aussie clients in this room here, and occasionally we get 1 or 2, but it's a long bloody way to come. So on the other side of the world, this is actually really important because there will be people in Australia watching the videos over the coming weeks. This was me in my Peter Sutcliffe days. So that's not in bad taste. And observe, making a phone call with a phone with a bit of wire attached to it, which is quite unusual nowadays. And look at the computer. So
and look at, you see what the policy document is?
Well, where are we?
The blue folder.
Oh, is that?
It's the drugs and alcohol
Oh,
policy.
Jesus. Well, that's why it's not very open, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, happy days. And my overall reflection on 25 years of it is it was exciting then and it still is now. So there are no days I get out of bed and don't want to do what I'm doing. So, you know, Thursday, Friday last week I was working with an exec team on the other side of the world as it so happens. But it was a great 2 days. And, you know, the nice thing about the conference every year is just the excitement of listening to all the presentations. And as many speakers know, I never look at what's coming up in advance because I don't want to spoil the surprise because it's always so exciting. And, you know, today has been no different. There have been a couple of people who I've seen speak before, and it was great to see them speak again. Others who I've not seen speak before, and it was just fantastic. So that's my overall reflection on 25 years. 25 years is a long time to do the same thing, really, I suppose. Right. So the highlight was this. When Barack Obama met me, he was thrilled. He said it was one of the top 3 highlights of his presidency, coming between being succeeded by Donald Trump and offing Osama bin Laden, which was his exact words. This really happened, but not in this universe. So many of you know I am a Star Trek fan. That means that I believe in infinite universes where every single possibility has happened. So I know that that is true. And I wish it was this version of me that got to do that, but there we go. So, more interestingly, number one, I've done my lessons learned, Andrew. But I didn't follow a brief either. It was just a fluke that a stray thought of, I could do some lessons learned, really. So, number one lesson learned, it's the leader that makes the difference. So we do the same old stuff. Some of you know that I don't normally say that. I use another terminology. We do the same old stuff wherever we go. And if we do the same old stuff wherever we go, so when we run universal improvement skills, we do it in the same way everywhere. Whether it's this side of the world or the other side of the world, exactly the same. You know, the lines are there, the points are there, the flip charts are the same. Same with universal leadership skills, exactly the same every time. You've been on 3 of them. You know there's not much difference between the 3. Same with facilitator training, same when we're running executive events. So if we do exactly the same stuff wherever we go, Why is the variation in results? And the variation is in the client. And the number one source of variation is in the chief exec. So if you have a good chief exec, and there are some in the room, then you get fantastic results. And if you've got a chief exec that's just doing it because they think they should do some training in the organisation, you don't get the same results, you get much reduced results. So actually, the variation in the results we get from our clients is massive. So we've got some, we can point and say, well, we've been a part of the success of some organisations, and we can point at others, and we also charge exactly the same amount as well. We've got there's two rates. There's a discount rate for small organisations, and there's a kind of a major corporate rate. So, there's no difference in what we charge either. So how come some people get really good results and some don't? Well, it's down to the boss. And another quick Deming quote, "The responsibility for quality lies at the top." I wish I could do his voice. Now, I've got some interesting facts. This is fact number one. This came as a bit of a surprise to me. I mean, you might have told me 15 times, Alison, because I would have forgotten the first 14. So why Alison worked at the UIC? Alison's story is she was trained as a facilitator at one of our Aussie clients, Translink. And one day, Lisa and I had lunch with Alison, and she said, well, I've moved into a job now where I think I've got to the end of it. I'll paraphrase slightly, and I've just resigned. Did you just resign, or were you thinking of resigning?
I was actively looking, very
Actively looking, that'll do it. That's enough for us. And Lisa said, we might be able to help you. Do you want a job? And Alison said, I think I need a little bit of time to think about it. And I think that was on a Monday, and then maybe the Friday, we got together and you said yes.
I had made my mind up in that moment.
But the reason Alison wanted a job with the UIC was not to do with our brilliance, was it, Lisa? I subsequently found out that she'd watched a video of Steve Jennings speaking and thought, I want some of that. So...
You want to rephrase that?
So Alison works at the UIC because she'd seen you speaking at a conference and thought, actually, that's something I want to be part of. So,
That's more like what I said.
yeah. Who cares what you said? It gets in the way of the story, Alison.
Yeah.
I prefer making stuff up. I could have done an entire half an hour of just complete bollocks if I didn't been allowed
Well,
to.
you have done in
Yes,
another
true.
universe.
At least this is vaguely factual. Interesting fact number 2, the family tree. Now, I couldn't find an old photo of you, Howard, because, of course, the UIC started well before digital photography. In fact, the last manual I had to go through and take out the word digital in front of photograph, because we used to take a digital photo, and people would say, well, we've only got one camera in the whole organisation. It's crazy, what changes? But we have 3 original clients. Just hands up, where's the one Manchester people? Do you recognise this young man here? Yeah. Dave Power, currently Chief Executive of One Manchester, but our original housing client. And we can trace all our housing clients and some Aussie clients back to Dave. So the way South Yorkshire's a client, someone from LHT moved to South Yorkshire. The way we got Steve as a client, it involves you, Henry. Dave Power got Henry in to run a day about Dr Deming in 1990, God knows what. And he also invited some people from other organisations, one of whom was Liz Cross, who is a former colleague of Steve's. So there's a whole long list of linkages there. Anybody who wants to play this game and say, how do I fit in, we'll do that later. Now, Fiona, yeah? Well, across Tony Finnegan, what a young man you are there. I look tired. Well, there's Peter Strachan, currently Managing Director of Caledonian Sleeper, Fiona's boss. And, well, we wouldn't have gone to Australia if Peter hadn't rung up one day and said, I've got a job in Australia, can you come, I think it'll be a one-off is what he said. But can you come and do some work for us? And then in healthcare, it's Howard. So there's a direct link between Howard and your 2 colleagues from the NHS there. But also, Howard is the link to Torquay, whatever it is, which is the link to Andrew. So we can trace everybody to our original 3 clients. So one day I will sit down and do the family tree properly. But I reckon everybody in this room we can trace back to one of those 3 people. Just need to find another photo of you here. Interesting fact number 3. So, I always feel a bit of a fraud standing up in front of these groups because my colleagues are as important, Richard. A classic example is, you know, I introduced you, Steve, and the reason I introduced you is basically, well, you're the boss. Steve's been a client for a long while. You should do it. And actually, you get a better service and an introduction if one of my colleagues does it. Because the UIC is, you know, it is, whilst I own it, it would be nothing without my colleagues. So it's not me, it's, you know, it is a collection of people who do good work. So actually, I bet half of my current colleagues don't even know the answers to this as well. Any of my current colleagues know who invented universal improvement skills? Yeah, Lisa's pointing. Where are you, Tony? So we used to do a 5-day facilitation skills course many years ago. And Tony said, on a train to Southport one day, what we should do is a short version for managers. And I can't remember what we originally called it, but that's what universal improvement skills is. You know, the stuff we have handy notes that we run courses from. That was Sarah, who isn't here today, but Sarah invented handy notes. We talk about having an integrated approach. Try not to look anywhere, who came up with the word integrated? Don't you remember? Yeah, there we go. And who invented the project steering group? Bally did as well. So, you know, I could go on and on and on and on and on, but all the good ideas are other people's that I've mentioned. Interesting fact number 4, why it's called UIMPROVE. So, this is an interesting one. Do you remember, John?
I think I've lost interest by then.
Yeah. There's 2 parts to this. We were on the train, I can't remember where we were going, but we had just left Stockport. John was explaining to me what the internet was and what a website is.
I was cutting edge in those days.
And was explaining the difference between .com and .co.uk. We had a website before most people actually, didn't we? You know, nobody had websites back in those days. And we were by that stage called the Universal Improvement Company. So whilst I think we probably do own the universalimprovement.company.com, I said, oh, we could abbreviate it to uimprove.com. It sounds really good, so we did. So our website for many years was uimprove.com, which we still own. But then, me and Vicky, many years ago, did some work in the NHS, and we were talking about all the sort of stuff we do. And the facilitators there did a bit of a presentation to their manager, and the manager said, it all sounds fantastic, what's it called? And we looked at each other, oh, Jesus, it's not really called anything, which seemed a bit of an oversight. So we had the brainwave actually started to call the approach something, and seeing we own uimprove.com, we thought we'll call it uimprove. And this is quite important, really, because one of the things we have realised is that and the speakers get this on their guidelines, whilst most people use it interchangeably, the Universal Improvement Company just delivers UIMPROVE. UIMPROVE is the approach, which lots of people do, whether we are involved or not. So we drew that distinction deliberately. And I think the way things are going now, we'll see more of our clients delivering UIMPROVE without us actually being in the room. So they will they'll have manuals and they'll have handy notes and be able to run it themselves. And ultimately that should make UIMPROVE kind of UIC proof. Cake. That one. Very nice, one of our clients last week was a very nice 25th anniversary cake, and I felt a need to put the photo of it here. So this is Transit Australia Group, whereas our colleague from Blackpool Transport. I should talk to you about that. I'm desperate, because they run buses basically. Desperate to get some people either from Blackpool to the Gold Coast or vice versa. You're welcome to that. Yeah.
I wonder which one we preferenced.
You didn't need helps and hinders for that one, did you?
And more cake to come. Don't forget to take it when you leave in a moment. So on to the next 25 years. This is me and the people who run the different legs of the organisation. So Lisa, as you know, runs Australia. Josephine runs Holland. Vicky runs consultancy on this side of the world, and John runs systems on this side of the world. Well, you know, I think I'll be following you in the not too distant future, Steve. And day after day, week after week, I think that the time has come to get out of the way. It was particularly relevant this morning when we had the question and answer panel. You know, you were on, Luke, and then we had 13 on. And, you know, you could see the future sat at the front of the room and the past sat in that chair. So you know, in 25 years, I clearly won't be doing what I am doing now, but I think it is important that my generation gets out of the way and leaves it to the younger people in the room, and whether they are running the business or facilitators or managers in their organisations, you know, to take things forward and to the next level. So that's my overall plan. Hand it over. And we've got a team meeting where the 5 of us get together the day after tomorrow. Take the opportunity of Lisa being in the country to do that. And part of what we will be planning is life beyond, or UIC beyond me. And I am also now an ex-Brit. So part of my plan is we are leaving Europe. I'm not leaving Europe, so I'm going to go and live in Holland. I'm now a Dutch citizen. That is my king and her king. This is me at my citizenship ceremony. There were 2 traumatic bits to this. One was reading out my pledge of allegiance to the Kingdom of the Netherlands in Dutch. And you know, they had a can you speak Dutch test. I don't think I'd have got in. And the second bit was trying to get into that bloody shirt and suit. So I hadn't bothered putting a suit on for a long time, actually. But that top button of the bloody shirt that morning, Jesus, that was hard work. So that's 25 years of the UIC, completely random thoughts, and what will happen next. There we go. Thank you, everyone.